I'm thinking of a famous Broadway musical named for a great city on a great lake. It's not Chicago. Think of a noble rank plus a city, like the Baron of Sheboygan, or the Count of Castle Danger, or the Emperor of Escanaba. I could literally do this all day, but it's actually the Duke of Duluth. And no, there's no reason you should have heard of this, but you're gonna. Welcome to Minnesota Historia. I'm Haley, your guide to the Duke of Duluth. Let me take you back to the Great White Way, which is a thing they used to call Broadway because of all the bright lights and not because Broadway producers and theater owners are so overwhelmingly white. Welcome to my tiny puppet version of New York's Majestic Theater. On September 11th, 1905, the Duke of Duluth opened here, after a preview run in some other Great Lake city that nobody really cares about at all. It's a musical, or an opera, or an operetta. I'm never really sure which is which.
You can sort of generally say that operas are sung throughout with a story from beginning to end. Operettas also have a story from beginning to end, but they're spoken dialogue. I don't want to call the Duke of Duluth an operetta or operatic farce because in this country we had done away with that term, and we were calling our shows musicals by then.
The Duke of Duluth starred Nat M. Wills. Wills was famous for his funny tramp character. Wills was a big get for the Duke of Duluth. Allow me to set the stage. The Duke of Duluth opens in the city of Duluth, where Nat M. Wills is sleepy. So he wanders down to the docks and takes a nap inside a submarine. As one does. That is literally all we get to see of the city of Duluth in the Duke of Duluth. Maybe the writer George Broadhurst just liked the way the Duke of Duluth sounded? I don't know. Nat M. Wills wakes up to find his slumbering submarine has traveled to the land of Watt, a magical fantasy world inhabited mostly by chorus girls. The people who live there mistake Wills for a duke who arrived to protect their city from an enemy threat. Then there was much singing and dancing. Would you like to hear a number?
I intend to model my life on a most original plan, to follow the teachings and the preachings of a successful man, to do what I think is right, no matter what others say, to be on the tussle and keep on the hustle until I get my own way, to be on the tussle and keep on the hustle until I get my own way.
It's hard to tell what he's wearing in this photo for a variety of reasons. Okay, Cow. So here's some hilarious leggings for you.
Yes.
There's a small bathroom through this weird little door here.
The dance numbers are not very extensive, so if my shoes are a little loose, right?
All right, now comes the goofy part.
Now comes the goofy part.
What's it like to play a bigger-than-life character that nobody has heard of?
That is going to be the big challenge, but I hope I'm up for it.
Appreciate your bravery.
And I'll be strenuous, strenuous. I'll be strenuous and go out for a swim. And then though the sun be hiding, I will do my horseback riding, then box 10 hot rounds with someone in the gym. Then I'll quickly eat my breakfast and go hunting for big game. And of course I bring my big old blunderbuss. Of wildcats I'll get plenty, and of bears some 9 and 20. And that without half trying to be strenuous.
I bet you're thinking the Duke of Duluth dazzled the critics. Let's see what they have to say. Oh. According to the Globe, the operatic cream injected into the Duke of Duluth turned sour. Meanwhile, the World said Nat Wills, vaudeville star, overjumped and landed in a snowbank. The result is a painful jumble of nonsense. And to say that the Duke of Duluth is dull and flat is putting the truth mildly. Others were meaner. The plot does not go far in the first act, and it never appears in the second. You do hate to think that 17 verses of every song, rank, ranker, or rankest, have been rehearsed. If the audience had been waxworks, and the wax had melted, they would have construed the melting into a call for an encore. Somebody doodled during the show. Are you starting to worry about the reviews for this episode of Minnesota Historia?
Well, I've heard that the original reviews for the Duke of Duluth back over 100 years ago were unfavorable at best. So I think I have a little hill to climb here.
Well, you can't please everyone. I bet it cleaned up at the box office, though. Oh, it closed in 2 weeks? The Duke of Duluth moved to a slightly smaller venue, Haverly's 14th Street Theater, where it closed after 6 days. And then it opened at the American Theater for a couple more weeks. It had 48 performances in total in New York City. But what did the fine folks in Duluth, Minnesota think of the Broadway play that shared their name? Oh, they loved it. As the kind of city that's constantly threatening to be the next big thing, Duluth was always opening new theaters. The Grand Opera House opened in 1883, burned down in 1889. The Bijou opened in 1903, burned down in 1915. The Lyceum opened in 1892, and they said it was Duluth's first fireproof theater. They tore that one down instead. But not before Nat M. Wills brought the Duke of Duluth to Duluth, and it played at the Lyceum on March 7th and 8th, 1906. Nat M. Wills was met at the train station by 1,000 delighted Duluthians. They took him to City Hall on a fire truck. The mayor gave him a comically oversized key to the city, bigger than this one. It was like 5 feet long. Seems like a lot. The Duluth Evening Herald accused locals of being a little too enthusiastic, but ultimately called it worthwhile. I'll let you be the judge. We'll close this episode of Minnesota Historia with another number from the Duke of Duluth. I believe this is what they call an encore.
My dainty to resting shepherdess, I love you more than you can guess. Don't turn your pretty head away, for I'll be true. My dainty resting shepherdess, won't you please softly whisper yes? And if you'll only name the day I love but you.
Thanks for watching Minnesota Historia, your guide to all things quirky in Minnesota history. Check out some of our other episodes where we go even further and deeper into the quirky, soft underbelly of this very weird state. Yup. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And please become a member of PBS North to support projects just like this.